Okay, Simran, tell me something about yourself.
So my name is Simran Bala, and I belong to Naushera, which is a town near LOC in Rajouri district of Jammu and Kashmir. And from there, I've done my basic schooling till class 10th. Post that, I've done my graduation in BA stream with political science and geography as my core subjects from Government College for Women, Gandhinagar, Jammu. And I appeared for this examination in the last semester of my college, and post that I'm here, sir.
Okay. So it has been more than 1.5 years when you filled your DAF. So things have changed a lot. What major changes you see in your life?
Yes, sir. So on a personal level, since the college has ended and I've entered into a competitive world, so I'm seeing things in a different perspective now. I'm seeing a different field of competition here. And other than that, I have grown up as a person too, I believe. I have developed few more hobbies. Uh, for example, teaching as a hobby, pastime, and that's it, sir.
Okay, Aarti, please you continue.
Okay, sir. Okay, Simran, so you belong to Jammu and Kashmir, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So some years back, Jammu and Kashmir was a state. Now it's a union territory. So what changes you have observed?
Ma'am, post application of Article 370, Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed a lot of changes. The first and foremost is on the security front. The security situation has improved. The security situation has improved drastically, especially in the valley, particularly. The cross-border infiltration, as well as the terror attacks, as well as the stone pelting incidents, have reduced to very much extent. Other than that, Article 370 was also a social move in the respect that several people, for example, the West Pakistan refugees or the Valmiki communities, they have gotten their due rights, which were not available to them back then. And other than that, the most crucial one is the actual and total integration of Jammu and Kashmir with the rest of India, which was earlier somehow kind of Article 370 acted as a barrier.
Okay. So after making Jammu and Kashmir a union territory, it is said that its financial status has improved. Do you agree with this?
Yes, ma'am, it's true. The fund allocation and the budget that has been allocated to Jammu and Kashmir has increased. Other than that, government has also been working on to attract investments from across the countries. The Gulf countries have planned, for example, UAE has planned to open a mall over in Jammu and Kashmir. So financial situation has definitely improved.
Okay. So there was a movie in News Kashmir Files. Did you watch the movie?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is your opinion? Like this type of movies are creating distance among people or they are like connecting the people?
Ma'am, I believe the movie actually presented the facts first, or put forward the reality that actually happened in the Jammu and Kashmir way back in 1990s. And I believe it is very important to know the history so that we could not repeat it in the future. And the movie as such provided a showcase to what happened back then, and it is upon we people how we take it. I don't think if we're not taken negatively, it does not act as a divide. It rather help us to know what happened back then and to be more sympathetic to the people.
Yeah. Okay, so Simran, you have studied geography in your graduation level. So tell me the difference between Jammu region and Kashmir Valley, like their soil and their flora and fauna of those regions. What are the differences?
Ma'am, Jammu and Kashmir are very different when it comes to geography. Jammu is particularly plains, while Srinagar is a valley, Kashmir is a valley. Pir Panjal mountains go through the Kashmir region. And so in terms of soil, Jammu plains soil particularly suitable for the cultivation of crops like rice, wheat, maize. Kashmir has a distinct variety of soil, for example, karewas, which are suitable for growing saffrons. Other than that, apple cultivation is very prominent there, and horticulture cultivation is very prominent in the Kashmir region. Other than that, climate is also very different. Kashmir region, though, remains very cold, particularly in the July Kilan period of 40 days. And even in summer, the temperature remains moderate, while Jammu experienced the extremes of winters as well as the extremes of summers.
Okay. So can you tell me the name of two species which are considered as endangered in IUCN Red List from
Then from
Jammu?
Jammu and Kashmir, ma'am, first is
Yeah.
Hangur, or the Kashmir stag.
Okay.
Other than that, musk deer is also found in Jammu and Kashmir, and it is also endangered.
Okay. Okay. So, what? Tell me the name of tributaries which flow to Pakistan from India. Like name of rivers, the tributaries of Indus River.
Yes, ma'am. The Indus River itself goes to Pakistan. Other than that, Jhelum, originating from the Srinagar, Verinag Spring, it flows to Srinagar, Pakistan. Then Chenab, Satluj, Beas, Ravi, all the tributaries of Indus River predominantly flows to Pakistan.
Okay. So, what are the arrangements of water sharing between India and Pakistan? Can India use all of the water itself or not?
And the water distribution is based on the Indus Water Treaty that happened in 1960s, and which was mediated by World Bank. And as per this treaty, the waters of Chenab, Jhelum, and Indus has been provided to Pakistan. However, India can do run-of river projects, hydroelectric projects in these rivers. Other than that, the rivers of Satluj, Jhelum, and Beas are exclusively for the use of India.
Okay. So you belong to Nowshera region, so you must have heard about the Brigadier Usman.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. So what the first thought comes in your mind after hearing the name of Brigadier Usman?
And the first thought that comes is the line of Nowshera and the Jhangar that he recaptured, and his sheer patriotism and nationalism that helped him recapture Jhangar back from the Pakistani troopers. And it was because of his utter sacrifice and unprecedented gallantry that Jhangar, Nowshera, and Rajouri, all three are part of India now.
Okay. So in your hobbies, you have mentioned reading books. So which type of books do you read?
Majorly, I like reading fiction books, but somehow every now and then I do read non-fiction as well.
Okay, so can you tell me the name of the book which you have read recently?
Recently I read A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalid Hosseini.
Okay, so what is the central theme of this book?
The book is based in Kabul, in Afghanistan, in the war-torn region, and it's a story of a woman. The terror hit Afghanistan region is predominantly very vulnerable for the women. So it's a story of Maryam and how she evolved during the course of the time, how she witnessed the things that particularly target the women therein.
Okay. Okay, Simran, what is special about your date of birth? Is there any event or something on same date?
Ma'am, it was on 10th of December, the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights was signed. So 10th of December is celebrated as World Human Rights Day. Other than that, 10th of December is also the birthday of Sri Rajagopalachari ji, who was the first and last Indian Governor General of India.
Okay. That's all from my side, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Simran, when we see some problem, so there are three perspectives. For example, if we see Kashmir problem, so there are three perspectives. One perspective from the person who is from Jammu and Kashmir. One perspective is from Delhi, those bureaucrats or senior military commander who are deciding about what to do in Jammu and Kashmir. And one perspective from Bihar and UP, they are not having proper idea. So can you say problem of Jammu Kashmir from a person who is residing there?
So one thing that I can provide as an additional fact to the people living outside Jammu and Kashmir is that the situation that is visible to the rest of the Jammu and Kashmir, rest of the India or to the world is the one that has been narrated through the newspapers, which is true. The Jammu and Kashmir suffer from multi-dimensional conflict. It is because of the Pakistan's infiltration bids and Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. It is also because of the separatist agenda working within the state. It is also because of the unemployment, the sheer frustration among the youth in the valley itself. And other than that, there is lack of development because of the historical and geographical factors. So there's so many factors come together, and this has led to the situation in the valley at present.
Okay, so there are some, for example, targeted killings also are happening. You are resident of that. So is there any fear in your surroundings, your locality, something like what all is happening? Do you also feel like things?
So earlier, the targeted killing was restricted to the Kashmiri Pandits only. But nowadays, in the past few months, we saw a case of targeted killing in the Dagiri region of Rajouri, which is my own district, wherein people were asked to come out of their homes and Aadhaar card was checked, and based on their identity and religion, they were shot down. So fear has been spreading since the valley has been very securely guarded by the army post, especially after the Article 370's application. The terror outfits and modules are shifting the route to the Punch and Rajouri region, as witnessed in the recent attacks. So targeted killings are also increasing in these areas. There is a fear, there is a threat perception in the Rajouri region as well, but more or less we feel safe in the hands of Indian Army.
Okay, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, when he was Prime Minister, to solve the problem, he gave three terms, for example, Jamhuriyat, Kashmiriyat, and Insaniyat. Can you little elaborate these three terms?
Yes, sir. So by Insaniyat, it is humanity, the humanistic perspective or humanistic touch to solve the Kashmir problem. Jamhuriyat, which is the constitutional democratic means to establish peace in the region. And then Kashmiriyat. Kashmiri basically refers to the ethno-cultural diversity of the region. So it basically involves doing by democratic means, by involving all the people together and by giving a humanistic touch to the situation, we will solve the problem.
Okay, so actually, if we see the Insaniyat, Jamhuriyat, and Kashmiriyat, means these terms unite the people. It is not about the division. It is not about separation. So initially, Kashmir, in fact, it was said ना कि यदि पृथ्वी पर कहीं स्वर्ग है तो ये यही है, यही है, यही है. So when you think as a person, as a student, ki problem started actually in Jammu and Kashmir when people felt separated to each other and the gap started increasing.
Sir, the region has historically been linked to India, particularly. It is said that there was elections in 1970s, 1980s that were the starting point of the rise of separatism in Jammu and Kashmir. And even then, the people at local level were much integrated to the India. I believe that it is more with the rise of separatist agendas and with the rise of social media as such, which is creating a more of division in the people in the valley. And this is further fueled every now and then with the separatist or activities by the parties living within the Jammu and Kashmir as well as funded by the Pakistan through this. And other than that, sir, the separatist activities are uh, also exaggerated or increased by posing certain youth as the face of separatism. And other factor is the single demographic concentration of particular communities in Jammu and in Srinagar. This is further somehow building this separatist agenda. Because the
Okay.
more the mixing, the more is the building of tolerance.
Okay, so in general, Jammu and Kashmir, majority of people prefer government job, those who are educated, because there is least risk in, for example, doing business. There are a lot of risks, sometimes shutdown, sometimes other problems. So do you think the situation has changed something? At least some more people are taking interest that I should do something private things, some establishing some business or something. Is this situation changed after revocation of Article 370?
So it is two things are changing. But I believe that still there is a lot of dependence on government jobs because historically and geographically, a lot of private sector development has not happened in the region. So people are not attracted to private sector as such. But yes, change has been coming. People are actually moving towards business ideas and to self-employment as such.
Okay, because
Hello, Simran.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
You did your that intermediate in PCB, and then
Yes,
you
sir.
took Bachelor of Arts in graduation. Why this anomaly? Like you were not sure of your interest in class 10th, so you switched your career after class 12.
So initially, the aim was to become a doctor. I gave the NEET entrance examination. I qualified the exam, but I got the BDS seat, which I was not very keen to do. So at that time, my sister was preparing for UPS examinations. So I got to know about all these examinations. I got to know, and then slowly, when I was in college, I got to know about defense examinations. So my interest tilted to that side. And when I got to know about the humanities from my sister, I decided to pursue it in this field.
You also wrote marathon as your sport, one of the sports. So can you
Yes,
tell
sir.
me the current record? Who said that, and what is the current record of marathon?
So it's by Kipchoge, and it is under 2 hours. I believe.
Yeah, both are right. He did in 1 hour 59 minutes and 40 seconds. So recently, delimitation commission was constituted for Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. So what is this delimitation commission, and how the distribution of seats between J&K and Ladakh and the numbers are done?
So the primary mandate of delimitation commission is to draw the territorial constituencies on the basis of population. And it has been constituted recently, and it has submitted its report, wherein it has increased 7 seats for the Jammu and Kashmir. Earlier we had 83 seats, now we have 90 seats. 24 are still reserved for the Pakistan's illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. And the 7 seats have been increased, 6 have been allocated to Jammu region, and 1 has been allocated to Kashmir region.
Is this a statutory body or a constitutional body? And who
Article 82 provides for Article 82 of the Constitution provides for action and for conducting a delimitation, for Parliament to enact a delimitation act of tribal offences.
Are you aware of this Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967?
Yes, sir.
The conviction rate under is very low. And sometimes, as per the NCRB data, it is below 2%. So, do you see that this politically motivated? Why is this anomaly there? Like the law was implemented, the spirit of law is not upheld. If we go by the NCRB's data.
So it is true that the conviction rate is comparatively very less as compared to the people who have been booked under the UAPA. But it is there can be political reasons, but it is predominantly because UAPA involves preventive detentions as well, and in the perception of threat, people are being booked under it. So we cannot as such say that if he will be convicted or she will be convicted or not. It is based on the perception, so that is why the detention rate is much higher than the conviction rate. But it is true that journalists and other people have been booked. Sometimes it has happened. Misuse of law has happened.
What is hate crime and the difference between hate crime and hate speech?
So hate speech is the words that provocate the hatred among the community. And hate crime is the actual implementation of that hate speech, actual manifestation of the hate speech in the form of a mob lynching maybe, or in form of other crimes targeted against some specific individuals or community.
So is it not communal at times?
So at times they are communal. They can be.
But do you aware that recently in J&K, in some district, the huge reserves of lithium was found? Which was the district?
So it was in Riyasi district.
So how do you see the importance of such discovery in the India's economic sector?
So lithium plays a very crucial role in the current era, particularly in the development of lithium-ion batteries, which are very important for the development of the electric vehicles. And India is giving a renewed push to the electric vehicles to achieve the aim of to go net zero by 2070, and also to reduce dependency on the other foreign countries for the oil imports. So if we shift to an electric fuel-based economy, it would be beneficial to save our forex reserve, to reduce dependence, and to become more Atmanirbhar in this field.
Okay. Recently, you are aware that are you aware? I'm just asking that on the western coast of North America, water is rushing through the bottom of Pacific Ocean. Are you aware of this?
No, so I'll have to read on.
Just suppose, like, why is this happening? Because you are a geography graduate. So what could be the possible reason that what is it? It's basically fresh water.
But I'll have to read on.
Okay. So are you aware of political thinker A.V. Dicey?
Yes, sir.
One of his rule, can you remember?
The rule of law.
And what is the corollary to it?
So I'm not able to get the question.
Are you not able to understand what I'm trying to say, or you are not aware of?
I'm not able to understand the question actually.
Actually, he gave the rule of law, and there is a corollary to it, and like a deduction of it, some inference from it.
So the Article 14 that we have in our Constitution.
Another principle on, like the rule of law is one of the principle, and corollary to it, which is deduced on the basis of this principle.
So equality before law.
Yeah, that is it. So what is the difference between the two?
The rule of law basically means that there will be a single law. Law will be applicable to each and everyone equally. There will be no discrimination. There will be no privilege provided to everyone. While equality before law basically is based on the fact that the people who are equally situated should be treated equally, and those who are situated unequally should be treated unequally. This is basically to assure that everyone at least stands on a same front. Those who are located at some other at different levels, they should be treated differently, so as to put them at par with others.
Okay. What is biopiracy and bioprospecting?
So I'll have to read on. So I can guess actually the word. But
Sure, you can.
so biopiracy could be related to the theft, might be related to the genomic sequences or data related to biology.
Yeah, it is related to data related to biology, but not exactly.
I'll read on this.
No issue. Can you tell me any international convention or the arrangement which is situated for the transfer of genetic resources arising out of this genetic diversity?
So we have Cartagena Protocol signed under the Convention on Biological Diversity, which deals with the living modified organisms and their transportation across different countries, which provides for advanced information agreement.
Any amendment protocol to it?
So we have Nagoya Kuala Lumpur Protocol.
Okay. Thank you very much. It was nice talking to you.
Okay, Simran, you said while communication you gave NEET examination, but you did not get MBBS and you were getting BDS. So if you in first attempt you are getting BDS, you would have got MBBS also, for example, in next attempt. Do you regret that you did not try?
No, sir, I'm happy with the decision. I have actually enjoyed the political science and geography throughout the course of my graduation.
Okay, so just for example, you appeared in BDS, but you would have got BDS. So at what moment of your life you suddenly awakened that now you should leave this field and I should go to government job, UPSC, etc.?
Sir, had I been into the BDS degree?
No. I'm saying at what moment you decided that now I should not go to medical field. I should rather pursue art subject and go to UPSC like examination.
Sir, it was earlier, in the beginning, it was the influence of my sister who was preparing for UPSC. So I got to know about different things. I started reading about world history and the post-independence history and things like this, which attracted me. So I decided that I'll be more interested in this field. So that is why I decided to shift.
Okay, Jammu and Kashmir, for example, Srinagar. In fact, it is said that Emperor Ashoka built this city, and in fact, fourth Buddhist council also held there. But at this time, for example, Buddhism is not seen at least in Jammu region or in Kashmir region, only, for example, in Ladakh region. So, can you say from historical point of view, at what time Buddhism started decline properly?
So it might have been, so I'm not aware of the exact time, but it might have been with the invasion of with the Arabian invasion that began and the beginning of the Muslim rule in the Kashmir region, that Buddhism would have started to decline, particularly after the 10th century.
Okay, so for example, you are from Kashmir. Have you Jammu and Kashmir? Have you been outside J&K, any state?
Yes, sir. I have been to Rajasthan. I have been to Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, and recently I went to Varanasi for my Air Force interview.
Okay. So, do you have some idea about Tamil Nadu?
So from the books and from the social media that I have access to.
Okay, so any specific things in terms of culture? What is the uniqueness of Tamil Nadu?
So Tamil Nadu So there's a tribal culture therein because of the predominant Eastern Ghats and the merger of Eastern and Western Ghats therein. Several tribes live in. For example, a very prominent tribe, Irule tribe, was in news, which was called to Florida to capture pythons therein. Other than that, sir, Dravidian language is very prominent there. The temples therein are very prominent. In the historical perspective, Madurai has been known for the Sangam era, it is known for, and the Sangam literature that was written over there.
Okay. It is said, one of the famous statement, geography rules the world. Have you heard this?
Yes, sir.
Whose statement is this?
I'm not aware of the name, but I've heard the statement.
Should I give you option? Can you guess?
Okay, sir.
Napoleon, Hitler, Julius Caesar.
It's Napoleon.
Okay, okay. So just for example, you said about the temple. So in temple also, for example, in one region of India, temple architecture is different in other. So what is the major difference between temple architecture of South India and temple architecture of Jammu and Kashmir?
So the temple architecture in South India particularly are the typical Dravidian style of temple architecture characterized by the shikhars and gopurams and the water tanks present within it. They're very high built-in temples. They're a very key epitome of the Dravidian style of temple architecture. While in Jammu and Kashmir, we see a blend of the Islamic style and the temple architecture in the building. Somehow we see the conical built rooftops built, particularly to adapt with the local snowfall that happens in the region. And we see a lot of Islamic influence in the temples built therein that were built later on. The earlier temples, for example, Shankaracharya, they somehow very much resonate to the Nagara style of temple architecture.
Okay, so your second choice is CRPF. For female,
Yes.
what are the major challenges in CRPF at this time?
So CRPF, even though has a women battalion and has taken a lot of steps to ensure that women are being comforted in the forces. There are challenges as there are in other forces. For example, being posted in the situation where law and order gets turmoiled, or being posted in the Naxalite hit areas can be a challenge.
Okay, okay. So, for example, you just coming out from academy, you are sent to Chhattisgarh. So, what will be a special preparation you will do to survive in Chhattisgarh?
So as I'll be taught in the academy now to deal in the, if I'll be posted in Chhattisgarh's forest region, so I'd learn the forest survival things, how to survive out there. I would try to learn the local languages so as to well interact with the people therein. And I would like to know what the topography of the region, the geography of the region, and what kind of environment prevails therein. What steps government has been taken particularly with respect to the defense forces. For example, the CRPF has been playing the community welfare programs therein. So I'll try to read upon all these things.
Okay, you are a company commander. You went for 3 days operation. So, which type of things, what all things you will keep with yourself?
So depending upon the nature of operations that I'll be going into, I'll prepare accordingly. I'll arrange the human resource as well as the weapons according to the requirements. The food and the other required logistics will be taken alongside, and we'll make sure that we are communicated with the company that in the headquarters.
Okay, okay. If you are going to fight Naxalites, so how many bullets you will keep?
So depending upon the inputs of how many Naxalites are there, I would make sure that I'll keep a good
In
range.
in general, you are not having proper input.
I'm not aware of the exact number that I would keep, but I will make sure that they are enough to.
Okay, anyway,
make sure that
from your guess, how many bullets you are from that state where firing is frequent?
Yes, sir. So they would be more than 1,000, maybe more than 1,500.
Do you know 1,000
one.
bullet carrying is very difficult?
So I'm not much aware of these things.
Okay, okay.